Hello? Hi, Justin. Wonderful playing. Yeah, really, really nicely done. Um, what do you think about when you're playing this? What kind of like either doesn't have to be a story. It could be like ideas or characters or colors or anything. So you're gonna have to talk a little bit louder because we can't hear. Okay, great. Bells. I think Bells is good. It's Rachmaninoff famously right has this piece called the Bells. Um, I think in addition to Bells, it also has a lot of this horn quality, especially when it's in this register. Ba 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 da da ba da, like very like trombone or trumpet kind of thing, and I I think you could orchestrate a little bit more, and then not just trumpets. You can imagine flutes, you can imagine the strings, and things like that to kind of give a little bit more color in the playing because the notes are great and the energy is there, so that's good. But I think what'll give uh, kind of more dimension to the playing, we'll be thinking about these colors. Good. Do you want to start once more again and think about instead of uh, let's see, instead of this bells, because he's got these tenuto markings on there, it's more like ba ba, and really like clear with that, right? Do you want to try that? Good. Okay. Good. Good. So when we had this ba 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 ba, there's also another note in there, right? In the left hand, what other note is it? There's a B flat in there, right? With the tenuto on it too. So I think we kind of have to hear that too, because if we just hear, that's nice, but a little bit kind of annoying. I think. No, it doesn't have to be loud, but just there. Yeah. Yeah, good. And so that's what I mean by like we're talking about like textures and orchestrating, right? Because you might have, let's say, uh, you know, I'm not sure, maybe a contrabassoon or something, maybe with some pizzicatos or something, and then you have maybe another like trombone, something a little bit more, or maybe even horn. So that sounds cool because it's just in one hand we get those two sounds, right? And then like kind of like strings. So really, really not. Don't take any attention away from the left hand. Right? Can we start from? Good. And then here I'm going to talk a lot about the left hand because Rachmaninoff does wonderful things with the left hand. When you play this versus, it has to be a different sound. This is like bells maybe or like a gong, but this is like a horn call, right? So this maybe I would play with kind of more arm, and then this a little straighter. You see, so a little bit more flexible with follow through. I know it's hard because you have to go fast, but I think you could do it. Can we do once more from? Good, 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 good. Now I do want to hear. So don't go too fast. I'd rather it be slightly, I don't want to say slow down, but no rushing, so we can hear. Yeah, can we do? Is it possible from that measure? I don't know if. Yeah, almost. Yeah, good. Do you have your score handy? I think sometimes with the master class, it's hard to like think about all this stuff and have it memorized. Do you have the score handy? Good. And sorry, I'm actually making you play too loud at this point because it's only we're supposed to be very, very soft. So that's my bad. But we still want that same kind of quality. So can you just do from where we are? And then you can crescendo. Yeah. Good, 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 good. Go on. Yeah. Good, good. So really make sure. I know you're bringing it out, but really make sure we hear the bottom. I hear it a little bit, but you can even bring it out a little bit more. Good, very nice. Yeah, go on. Yeah, good. Exactly. Same thing as before. We wanted to hear those top notes. Check your note on. I'm not sure if your left hand was playing the right inversion. Yeah, right. Good. Fine. Let's start from. Yeah, good. I can hear that. Ba-da-dum. That's good. Ba-da-dum. Anytime that happens, let's do from there. Good. And so here I think you have to keep. We're in. Actually, my score doesn't even have anything written for crescendo. Do you have a crescendo around here? Before? No. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it makes sense to play it not crescendo. So I think what you're doing is fine. But I would actually. Well, let's see. That's very interesting. Let's see. Can we try it once? I'm not sure if it works, but can we try it once, just keeping it very soft, and then the mezzo forte right there is kind of a little bit more shocking. Okay, fine. So I think that doesn't work. I think we can do what you were doing before, crescendo. And what I want you to do is keep it loud, da bum bee bum bum bee, and it's still loud. We have a sforzando, And then here a little less because now I see he has mezzo forte and then piano. And so he's coming down. So I think we gotta use that. But keep it loud for the first da 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 yum bum ba yeah da 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 dum bum ba 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 ba. Yeah. Do it from where we started before, and now you could crescendo as you were doing before. Good. Can you do that ba-da-da-dum even more exciting? So da ba beep. Yeah, so right now you're playing it very light. Can you play these into the key more? Can you just do that? Yeah, don't be afraid of this chord. I want you to really go for that chord. Yeah. Good, good. And then here, I want to hear. So. Yep. Good. So in this whole next section, what we really have to watch out for is the inner notes. So I hear the outer octaves, but I want to hear. So really make sure you know in your head what those notes are. Can we do just where we started there? But it up. Good. So, Justin, how would you practice? How do you practice something like this? Like if you were, let's say we're not here and you're just doing it by yourself. What would you try? What kind of different things? Sorry, you're gonna have to again. You have to talk a little louder. Sorry, because I think the mic's far. Have you ever done additive practicing, which is like you add another chord? So I would actually do something like this. First, make sure you got the first chord, okay, and then let's go to the second one, and really make sure you know like where that's supposed to go, and then we'll add another one, and then you add another one. Yeah, can we just try a little bit for that? Just first do. Yeah, and I also do want to hear both, ba-da-dum and bum. Yeah. Good. Now, good. Now, well, make sure you don't stay there. It's a staccato. Yep. Good. Now add one more chord. Da-da-dum bum. Good. Justin, let's add one more chord. One more chord. You don't have to go super fast. Just do it a little slower. Good. Yeah. Now can we add another one? Good. Couple more times. Yeah. Okay. Don't go more than you're going. You have to be kind of diligent about it. It'll pay off later, but you have to really be diligent about it. Good. And I do want to hear. Make sure you hear the F E flat. Good. Now let's go one more chord. So just if you do this kind of like really focused practicing, what you can get done in like 20-30 minutes is more than you can just do if you just do, you know, go through a little bit faster but not really focus on the stuff. Or like, you know, you can practice an hour or 2 hours and not get the same kind of you know, it's harder and you have to think a lot more and you might have to take breaks more often to let it kind of marinate in your head. But it's a lot more helpful. Okay, fine. So you understand how we can tackle that. Can we move on to do you know where that is? Yeah. Good. I want you to go. There's a sforzando on the top. I want you to, you know, throw really kind of snap up on the top. Right now, you kind of land. Yeah, really go upwards. Good. And that helps you jump to. Yeah. Good. Good. You can use a little bit more pedal, especially for that big chord, because you don't want it to be too dry. I know there's a staccato, but in the context here, it needs more volume. Oh, sorry. Good. You know, if you were adventurous, and you don't have to try this now, but it's an option to use your right hand for that chord. Because anyways, where the right hand is not. Oh no, there's something there. Never mind. Never mind. I thought I was being clever, but one more time. A little bit more pedal is okay. Good. And make sure you're playing a C flat and not C natural on the left hand. Yeah. Yeah, good. Let's go on. Let's go one more time, and then let's go on to the next section. Good. So here, just to revisit, sort of same thing. How you play these chords is different from these chords, right? This is more like trumpet. This is more like a bell or so always listen for the top of this hand. And you don't want. I mean, the bass will be heard. Don't worry about that. I want to hear da da ba 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 da ba ba. From there. Yeah, good. Go on. Good. Okay, here, don't change your pedal on the the gong thing on the fourth beat, because if you change your pedal, we lose the top voice. So maybe if you want to do any pedal change, you should change here and then one pedal. Alright, so you don't want what I heard before was. But we want this to go all the way through. Yeah. Good, good. And really make sure, I think you could probably do a little better staccato on these. Change pedal every note. Da, ba, 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 ba. Yeah, good. Same thing. Exactly. Same. Dum, 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 dum. Good. And same thing here. We have the two voices. Right. Da, ba. Good. Good. Yeah, and I hear that's good. Just make sure when you play with both hands. Now, can we try from the fortissimo? From there, and I know that there was a lot of notes in the right hand. You're playing them fine. I want you to focus on what we just did in the left hand. Good. And if possible, to hear, let's see. So that we hear this ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum. I know it's how we. Your left hand is great now. I like that a lot. That last da-da-dum, I want to hear kind of separate from what came before. Yeah, good. And good. And after that, each one separate pedal. It doesn't have to be staccato, but I want a little bit like. Do you play violin? Do you know? You play cello. Good. Any string instrument. Imagine you had to do ba-yum, 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 bum, ba-da-da, right? So you wouldn't go. I don't think in this case with fortissimo you would go ba-ya, ba-ya, ba-ya. The up bow doesn't give you enough power, right? So you need a little bit break down, bum, ba-yum, bum, ba-da-dum. Good. Can we do ba-da-dum, last ba-da-dum? Yeah, sorry. Good. So what I mean is, can you lift the pedal slightly in between each chord? I want to actually hear a gap in between each chord. Can you do it once a little slow? Just in between each one, there's a little break. Yeah. Good. Now make sure you play with the same amount of excitement here. Good. Let's bring it back up a little bit in tempo. Yeah, good. I think you might not need to hold each chord as much. Just let it go. Let the pedal sustain for you. Good. Okay, can we try to incorporate that from maybe... Yeah, and don't be afraid of taking a little time for your grace note. I'd rather hear it cleanly than have it be 100% in time. Yeah. Good. And then you know this its ending is very is Rachmaninoff. Rachmaninoff. Right? So I think actually it's a cutoff. Yum ba da dum and not bum ba da dum. So bum ba da dum. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You could probably I don't know, maybe that's too short. Yeah. Good. Can I check one chord? This chord. Are you playing G minor? Right? G minor chord? Yeah. Yeah. Good. 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 Let's do it one more time. From. Good. One last thing. Instead of right now, you go and then. Can you do one gesture on the left hand instead of and then down? Yeah. Good. And as you're playing these, go up a little bit. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Really, really nice playing. Really adjustable, adaptable. It's good. So really think about how Yes, it's important to hear ba 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 ba, but it's also important to hear the other stuff, right? And then just a little bit in terms of how to pace this, like how to come down from the loud stuff. How you're gonna pace it coming down. Good. Practice those chords. Make sure you get them. You exactly know what that chord is before you add another one. So you really have it down. And then, once you have it down, go back and practice it in, from a little before to a little past, so you can kind of glue it back in to the piece. Good. And then just at the very end, really knowing those left hand, whether it's staccato or it's held, because I think it gives a lot more clarity to the playing. Good, great. Thank you. All right. Sorry everyone for that opening sound. I had the preview also playing, so kind of. So now we have Daniel. Is that right? Playing second Chopin Ballade, and we will hear this video. Hello. Hi. Great job. Great job. It's a very difficult piece, and it's difficult not only in the technical stuff, but also difficult because it's so, you know, yeah, if you don't know what this music looks like, it's just a bunch of, just a bunch of slur. I mean, big legato lines in the slow part. So two things to keep in mind. You know, people always talk about how Chopin, you know, slept with having the Bach well-tempered clavier under his pillow and things like that. So he was very, you know, people might say the best counterpoint writer after Bach. And in order to kind of bring justice to it, we have to make sure we kind of hear all the voices that are going on, whether it's like, you know, the left hand accompaniment or any kind of suspension or two voices in the right hand. So I think in this nice section, so I hear the melody very well when you play, but I also want to hear some of the other notes, like this nice seventh chord, and then it's not just, but you know, the kind of the two voices coming together. So that's very important, and it happens throughout this whole kind of opening section that sometimes, like, you're very good about bringing out the melody, and that's very nice. But I kind of miss sometimes the little voices. Now, the other thing to talk about andantino, for you, is that what is it, faster or slower than andante? You'll have to speak up, I think. I'm not sure I can hear you. Okay, faster. Yes, a little faster. You know, and I think, for example, if we're gonna play, if we play the presto, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. So if it were presto, fine. Okay. So let's move it down to like allegro, and maybe allegretto. I think andantino is slightly under, like, you know, andante I would probably play what you play. And that's probably, I think it's okay. I don't know if it needs to go like, but let's see. At this tempo, it's a lot easier to play that one line, because otherwise, we kind of each. So I you know, maybe you don't have to go as fast as I did, but to think. Well, I have no different editions, but I have a phrase break here, and then you can start over another phrase, kind of brighter. Yeah, so let's try that. So two things, thinking about the tempo, not that it should go fast, but it should, like, you need to think about where that phrase is going to here, as sort of like a half phrase. And then the other thing is to make sure you listen to those other voices in the right hand. Yeah, you wanna try it? Good. Now, I think there's something about how you play in between each one. If you can keep the nice sound and keep your fingers and hands relaxed, but don't let yourself jump in between the keys and in between the eighth note quarter and then the next eighth note quarter. Here you can come up and then then you come. Yeah. So motion, if you're thinking, some people might think it's kind of like a barcarolle. There's something water about it. Yes, but not waves like this, but more like ebb and flow kind of thing. Can you try it? Good. Can we do so? Good. I think the tempo is better, and I think the connection is better when you go here. You're connecting the top, which is good. If you can do that also on that one. Right now you go. Right now you're gonna separate. But I think if you can hold and then make sure you hear the fa mi re do. Sorry, my singing bad. Why don't we just stop there? I want you to finish that phrase as if that were kind of. And then let's just stop there and kind of make sure it sounds like you're going to end. And then later we'll keep going, but try it. Yeah, so fa mi re do. Can we just do from there? Really quiet on the resolution. Okay, good. Now I think it's a little too loud. It's louder than the G. Still, the G is more important. But we just want to hear it both. Good. If possible, is it possible to change the G to 4 at some point so that you can go to that without jumping 5/5? Not this one. The next chord. After you play the mi, re, and then switch to 4 on the top. Yeah. That way you can do a nice connection to the resolution. Okay, let's do it one more time and then we'll go on. Good. Yes. Okay, good. Now, why don't you go from there and keep those things in mind. And when you get to the high C, I want you to kind of give us another, like a brighter, it's like maybe this is a little bit overcast and a little cloudy, and once there's a little bit of sun coming through kind of feeling. Okay, can we just do from where we stopped? Good, very nice. Now I'll give you a couple of tips. You're using the una corda, right? On the soft pedal. Good. Sometimes it depends on the piano. Sometimes you can actually use don't push the pedal all the way through, but push it maybe 3/4 and you actually get a nicer sound, because like, you know, if you use the soft pedal a lot, you'll play and you'll get the grooves also on the hammers as if it was not soft pedal, and so you still kind of get more sound than you want. So if you just use like 75% or a little bit down, you actually get a better sound, or easier to control sound. Sometimes it's not, but that can help. Good. Can we do from? And I want you to take a little time when you get to the pianissimo. So. And another trick here is to use pedal as you do, but don't, just like the left pedal, don't put it all down all the way. All you need is like 60% pedal, and that actually makes the sound a little smaller. You don't get the whole piano singing. You get, it's a smaller kind of reverb sound, not all the reverb. Yeah. So can we do from? Yeah, good. So I request that when you go back and work on it a little bit, try to get some fingering changes in so that you can connect the top lines without jumping in between. I think that will also help the long line continue. And you're able to do it. You just need to kind of figure out something that works for you. Good. Now, before the presto, anytime this you can emphasize again, you know, Chopin writes these diminuendos. I think they're more like, you can, you know, they're diminuendos or long accents. I think you can come back up. So we finish this and then more. So again, it's like I tell you this once and then again. Try it from maybe a measure before the first one. Good. Now, one thing about that rhythm, try not to make it too dance like dum ba da da ya da da da. Sing through it, so not too fast on the small note. Just from the diminished chord. Good. Good. Same thing with the left hand here. Not da bi da 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 di da da. And think about the diminuendo da di da da and not da di da da. Yeah. Can we do from there? Good. On this, you know, the seventh, that's kind of a nice, and you get tritone there. Make sure I hear the top again. I hear the top very well. I hear, but I don't hear that seventh chord. So I don't mean that it should be louder than the other things, but I just need to hear it. Yeah, good. And just to make sure, you know, as we're talking, you're talking about the, you know, changing the fingering. Also change your conception of how things are phrased. So it's not ya-dum, ba-dum, but it's ya-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da. So the strong beat is the strong beat and not He could have written slurs the other way. That's like the third ballade. Right. That's the slurs this way. This is the other way. Or at least nothing. Maybe not even the other way either. Just one long line, so you don't get those. Okay, fine. I think maybe you wait a little too long on the fermata. Just let it disappear. And then I would change the pedal, just like we were talking about with Justin on the Rachmaninoff, a little pedal separation. I would not connect the pedal all the way to there. I would like just a little bit break. When you get ready to play, you can lift the pedal up. Yeah, can we do from the... Good. Are you changing the pedal on the second measure and the fourth measure? Like, are you changing on the? Are you changing here? Okay, I think you can change better, and I think let's see. Chopin's piano was not as reverberant as ours, so I think if he put the pedal down and just played, for us that's too much sound. But I think if he were to do it on his play, it'll probably sound like something like that. So actually, we can lighten up the pedal maybe at the very end of the first measure, so we get a little bit diminuendo. Something like that. Try. Yeah, good. You can connect. I don't think you need a break between this, and then you can connect that one over here. You can connect that a little bit more. But I like the going down better. That's good. One more time. Yeah, good. Go on. Good, good. So I think there's something kind of, if you phrase too nicely, which you're doing right now, you're doing very nice. What is that right? Yeah, I think it loses a little bit of this confoco, like kind of unstoppable feeling. Sorry. You kind of want it to be a little bit relentless and kind of like you want to feel by the time you get to. Sorry. Okay, I get a little rest. So you kind of, I want you to, yes, the phrasing is nice, but I kind of actually want it to be a little bit unrelenting. Can we do it from? Yeah, so I think here still keep. So I don't think you need to come down. I think you should go bum and then build up. Good. Can we do from? Yeah, good. I think two things. You can come down after you get to your. You can come down a little bit more. I think it's the same thing. You have to withdraw the pedal a little earlier, and then when it modulates, I want to hear the inner voice. It happens so fast, but I think in your mind you have to understand how he's modulating chromatically. So can we do from good, okay. So Chet, I want you to can we just do the right hand? I want you to really hear those inner voices. I think you might not be playing some of them. Good. Check those. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good. And then same thing. The inner voices. Yeah, good. And then left hand, just to make sure you're playing it correctly. The fourth finger goes down to a D natural. Is that right? Yeah. I wasn't sure if I heard. Maybe I heard wrong. Okay, good. So I would make sure you know the notes. I would just make sure those come in. Good. Can we do from there with both hands, just from. Good. So remember, anytime you want to do a diminuendo, decrescendo, not only can you play softer, you can also use less pedal. Yeah. Or not. What I mean less pedal, not like don't use pedal, but when you use pedal, you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom. You can use a percentage of pedal. You can still use it at the same places you were doing, but just a little bit less. Can we do it one more time? Good, and then with this little thing, this little chop, interrupted. It's not really interrupted. I want the pedal to be actually gradually lifted off. So I'm not using all the pedal all the way down. So it's kind of like already I'm at like 50%, and then I let it gradually die away. Yeah, let me try it. Maybe a couple measures before the stop. And make sure you end softer than the previous notes. So like not da 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 but da da da. If you might have so how we do, I think if you let your wrists come up, you can have less weight on the keys. Yeah. 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 I think that already sounds better. Okay. Good. This all this middle section is fine. I think same thing as a little bit before. Make sure you know where your inner notes are in the chords. I hear the octaves very well. I hear the melody very well. I sometimes miss the inner voices. Good. And phrasing is good. I hear all those slurs and things very nicely. Good. And you know, your coda is very nice. Very, you know, very, not just nice. It's very well played. Do you have any questions or difficulties with that? This one? Yeah. Do you use what fingering do you use? I know it's getting a little weeds for Masterclass, but I want to check it. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I don't think it's necessary to go to 3. I have it in my score too to go to 3, but I think it's okay just to go to 4. So 4-1 to 4-2. 4-4-1 4-1 to 4-2 4-2. Yeah. Yeah. And then 2 so So I don't do any like finger changes. I if it's 2 notes, I play the same fingering for both of them. So we have 4-2 4-2 1-5 1-5 2-3 2-3 2-4 2-4, and then 1-5 1-5, and then I just do 1-3 1-3 1-4. So I think what I think is I group them larger. I don't group every 2. I group so I do 1 gesture. Can you just try that? Yeah. So I think your hands get too high already. You start like this, and then you're already too high. So. And what you want is throughout the 6 notes to get higher. But if you go too high, you have nowhere to go after. No, it's too high. Do too high. So keep it down. Can you? Is this? So not. You're already too high. Yeah, can you actually start a little bit, even a little lower on the first? Right now you have a nice arch. It's very, you know, it's supportive. It's good. But I think in this case we need to start a little lower so that we can get through the whole passage. Yeah, and try not to group too much. With every 6 notes, it's like down, up, down, up, da 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 da. Yeah, good. And you know, try not to legato the thumb and second finger, the lower notes, because I think that actually later on will cause you to not be able to play it as fast as if you just da 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 and not da 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 da. Yeah, but that's fine. That you can work on it. Otherwise, I mean, it sounds fine. What about these? So I mean, from the performance, it sounded like it was like every other note that it came out the top. It was sort of like. So the key, I think for this the key is a little bit higher here to drop, so that you're not using, you know, not too much arm, but also not too much finger. It's sort of, and then the fingers are supportive, so they are kind of like buildings, like columns or arches. They don't move, but they transfer weight very well. Can I just see that? Yeah. Good. So I think it's maybe a little low right now for the wrist, a little bit higher. Not the elbow higher, just a little bit higher here. Because if it's too low, what happens is you have to lift and then drop. But I think if it's a little higher, your resting position versus, I think you have to use a lot of muscle to pull back. Whereas this one is sort of like extending and then coming back to neutral. Yeah. Yeah. Now very, very firm on the fingers, like, you know, not tight, but they should not flex when you play. Yep. Yeah, good. And then the next thing to do is just make sure you group. You know, it's slurred and then it's slurred, so you don't have to, you know, go all the way through to the end. And, you know, so you kind of do a little reset between each one. Okay, finally, let's just talk a little bit about the end. I think. Just like I thought that fermata was a little too long in the beginning. I think it's the same thing. Oh, sorry. And then if we do a little pedal magic again, maybe lift to 40%. So you get loud. Sorry. You're able to start playing earlier if you let the pedal off just slightly, so we can hear those notes, and so you don't have to wait so long. Can we do from? You can wait maybe longer than that. I think maybe, you know, a slight fermata, but not as long as you're waiting. Maybe even less. Good. And don't slow down. Da, 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 da. You can slow down a little bit just for, and then count 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So yes, a little slower, not 100% up to tempo, but I think it can't be so slow where we lose the beats of the piece. One more time for. Yeah, you can place the last chord a little bit. I was counting 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Or what was I counting? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. You can just slow down in your head with those dot 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 bum a little bit. just the last three measures. Yeah, good. And I think it's not so much of a like a this motion, but I think this is very like somber and almost like very tragic. I think it has to be kind of downwards. Yeah. Good. Let's try it one more time, and then we'll have to move on. Yeah, good. Do you play the version with the E held in the middle? Is there a tie in the middle with the E? Yeah, so use that as your finger to help you control the rest of the fingers. Okay. I think if you don't hold it down, it's hard to be completely detached and then match the. But if you hold the E, it's easier to feel that. Good. Yeah, I think we should stop. But I think it was great playing. The coda is very difficult, and your presto sections are really nice. Just kind of thinking about, especially those andantino sections, the long line, and listening to those inner voices, whether it's in chords or smaller groups, but you still need to hear all the notes. Otherwise, we kind of miss a lot of the interesting harmonies. And then the last thing is just experiment with your pedal. It's not always just on or off. It can be, sorry, my face is cut off. It can be, a little bit of pedal, a little bit more pedal, or as you're decrescendo, you gradually release it. So it's like driving. Well, I don't know if you can drive it, but you don't just floor the pedal down. You modulate it depending on how fast you want to go. So same thing with the pedal. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And then now we have Euna. Hi. And we will watch her video now. Hi. Great job, you know. Yeah, it's a very difficult piece, and I think there's a lot of great things happening here. I'm going to do this a little differently. We're going to go backwards, and mostly because this coda is so famously difficult, and actually, what we're going to talk about is not like actually technique. I mean, everything's technique related, but it's really about rhythm and clarity of where the beats lie. Right now, and this is not just you, everyone plays. It sounds like one, one. It sounds like one, one. I can't even play that way. Like it sounds like, but it should be. I think there's different pedaling markings too, but I remember one of the scores I had to, but right now it has don't change the pedal on the first measure. And the other thing is not to wait so long that this sounds like it's a downbeat. So, that doesn't even sound good. It's hard, and I can't even make it sound myself sound good. Maybe actually it has to do with the right hand accent. I think actually that sounds better to me, is making sure we accent. So it's very difficult. I'm not sure I'm convincingly do it either, but I think you might be able to do it. So let me try. So first, don't wait so long on the first rest. I would rather you stretch out like the entire measure a little bit than wait and then go. Yeah, and then try to not change your pedal on. So if you change, then it sounds like that's a downbeat. So I think you actually have to, unfortunately, do it with the top, which feels weird. It feels weird, but let's try it. Can we try it? Yeah, so don't play so loud on the bass too. Not the ba da ba ba da ba 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 ba, if possible. Yeah, good. So, my score has just the pedal kind of all the same. I remember I had another score, I think it was the Henley edition, that changes the pedal after on the third measure, it starts to be on the off beats. Do you have the Henley edition? Do you know?
I'm using pedal rescue, but I do have that pedal.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's kind of cool to switch the pedal there. I think maybe it helps. So if it's somehow there doing it on the bass note gets the syncopation, makes more sense. I don't know why. Can you try it with the way it's written? Do it really slow so that you don't have to worry about the notes, but that you're really focusing on the pedal. So like this, about this slow. Yeah, so I think it's also actually, maybe a technical component too, to feel, instead of, you're kind of going like this way, I want rotate this down way, this way. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you gotta do the rest, otherwise it doesn't feel good. 1 and 2. Yeah, good. So the first 2 measures were good, but the third measure you started doing this way. Almost like imagining there's a slur from the top to the bottom. One more time. Yeah, now let's do it with the right hand. Yeah, so that felt correct, but it's very hard to do that, right? So the other thing I was thinking about is to hear. So that we want that kind of dialogue, so that it actually draws our attention away from the bass note if we get that accent on the top, right? Yeah, it's getting there. I think so. So you have to be diligent in that because, and I'm not even sure in the end if it really is going to come across. But I have faith that someone one day will play this and it'll sound like it's supposed to, like it looks on the score. Okay, good. And then just the other thing before we go further back in the piece, all the scales are good. The ritenuto is fine. I think this ending. Your accelerato is good, but don't stop when the hands start going the same direction. I think it needs to be a gradual thing to the end. So instead of you stop, you kind of once you get to the G, you kind of start again. I think it's just all the way accelerato down to the end. You want to try that? Yeah, that's better. You can actually, I think you can break more at the beginning, so it's a little ridiculous. Like it slowly becomes less and less broken, and then together. Yeah. One more time. Good. Okay. Good. Now let's go back to the beginning. The opening is the first 3 measures are good. I think there has to be a contrast between that and the piano that comes afterwards. So don't get all the way down to piano on your hairpin down. Or and then still sort of in time in tempo, even though it's largo, which I think your tempo is fine, but. Don't let the music stop here. And then another, right? Yeah. Even though it's rest, that F sharp goes on. And then I forget if you let the B flat by itself. And then don't hold the B flat to the B flat should also come off before. Yeah, good. Let's start from the beginning. think you hold the first beat of that measure da 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 a little bit too much. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1. Right now you're kind of holding it 1 2 da 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 da. Yeah, maybe just from. Yeah. Good. Go on. Good. So you're generally pretty good about it, but make sure all your accompaniments is strong, weak, right? Not. One thing to think about is after each little phrase, the rest here. What kind of rest do you want it to be? Versus, how long it is. Yeah, definitely do a rest, but how long it is and what direction it is affects. Is affected what comes before and also affects what comes after. So, like for example, I think the first one. Is okay. A little bit longer, this kind of goes up. Kind of please. And then this again a little bit more. So kind of how it ebbs and flows. It's not just you're phrasing each one nicely, but I think with a larger context, it needs to kind of either go from somewhere or go to somewhere, not necessarily like dynamic wise, but just timing, kind of this ebb and flow feel. You want to try? Wait a little. Now don't. Keep this one going a little bit more. Yeah, good. So maybe it's a little much, but you can experiment with that. And I think the other thing that supports that is the half diminished. It's like a very, kind of that feeling. Whereas this is kind of hopeful, dominant, going to, yeah, good. Good. Let's do, I think as you get a little bit more excited, watch your voicing. And it could just be the recording and also the room, but make sure your left hand does not take over your right hand in activity, unless, there's an interesting voice there. But in general, you don't want it to take away from the right hand. Can we do from... I know the left hand is important, but I think it's interesting, more interesting to hear both voices come together. So. So kind of this feeling. Good. So even if you are feeling that it's going there, I think these still need to be and not. And the left hand also, actually, because I have these accent hairpins. So yes, in general it can be crescendo, but each one should be a little. Sorry. So right here, you do a dynamic contrast, which I agree with, but I think actually you can. Actually, well, I guess it depends on your score. But I have a hairpin down. I think different color for this. Yeah, could we do just maybe? Yeah, good. So I like to roll that on the beat because I get the harmony earlier. Otherwise, it's like the harmony takes a while to get there. So I think. I would open up, yeah. Yeah, so maybe yeah, more crescendo, more crescendo. I have a crescendo or a hairpin there. Grow into the A major. Yeah, just that measure. Do you have a chord also on the half of the measure? Yeah, yeah. Make sure you play. Make sure you play it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, good. And then okay, your run. This run was all fine. I just want to point out to you after the run. This is exactly at the beginning. So I think you kind of have to feel that this whole thing is kind of like a crab or like a palindrome, right? It kind of, it starts the way it ends or ends with the way it starts. So I think that's important to feel. Yeah. So good. You don't have to try that. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I think it kind of affects how you think about it. Good. I'm not going to talk about I think the fast notes are all good. I want to get to the second theme. I think you can die down earlier on your arpeggio. Right now you kind of. I think the sforzando happens. And then keep the left hand kind of like horns. And then out of the horn comes a special one. So I actually would change the pedal on the last one, so it's a different sound than the previous. Yeah, can we try the sforzando thing a little before? Let me see what time it is. Oh, okay. Sorry. Good. Where's you have ritenuto? Yeah, da, da, da. Yeah, you kind of actually sped up a little bit at the end there. Can we just do from the? Good, good. And then now I want to convince you that this whole section, I think it needs to be pianissimo and sotto voce. You can do a little, contouring here and there, but don't get too worked up because later on we have all this great stuff, right? So really explore the kind of more intimate side. And it has to do with voicing too. If you play the left hand a lot softer, you can get this kind of like airy feel while not having to play so soft in the right hand as long as the other voices are soft. Can we try? Good. And you know what works for that is diminuendo. So you can, let's see. So play more on the first. Yeah, so and then you can take time too. So and then keep this again. Because later on we have whatever it is. Yeah, later on we have that. So really keep this really kind of serene, like you're floating down a river. Can we do? Yeah, before the diminuendo thing. Good. Yeah, I think that feels a lot better. And then when you end this section, I think it's cool to use your right hand to go down. Because then you really feel that distance there. You know, it's okay, you can probably get the same effect, but I think it's not even that hard. It's just you gotta. And I'm justified because he doesn't write a rest on the right hand, you know. Yeah. Can we try that? Yeah. Good. Okay. This is all fine here. This is all fine. But I want here to hear the inner voice. La, so you really have to hit those out. If possible. You gonna try that? Yeah, good. Yeah. So you don't need to hold it. I actually tried to. But you don't, I don't think anybody else does. So as long as you hear it, then it's fine. Good. Let's see. Is there anything? I think it's really just about keeping the bass note light. And practice it separately. You probably do, but even practice it scherzando up to tempo separately. Sorry. So that you really get that fluid, and then you don't have to worry about when you play. You can focus on that. Good. On those quintuplets here, you have more time than you think. And it's actually not that fast. Stretch it out if you have to. Yeah, can we try it? I know it's probably hard to do on the spot. Can you try it? Maybe just stretch it out a little bit instead of da 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 da. Yeah. Okay. What also helps is if you do your grace note on the second half of the measure on the beat, so that it doesn't, because you have to play it before the beat. That shrinks the amount of time you have for the other ones. Maybe that's a little too aggressive on the grace note, but that way you have more time at least. You can do the grace note however fast you need to. Can we try that? It's a little weird, but. Yeah, good. So really make sure you every note in the key, especially at the end. Finish that before you go on to that. Okay. And then just the last thing before we end on this, it's actually bum bum bum, and I think that's part of it. We have this sempre con forza. It's not bum bum bum, it's bum bum bum. It's exactly with the left hand. I think there's something, we all always treat Chopin like, oh, it's very romantic, very nice, and very, soft and stuff. But he was Polish, and I've been told, I'm not Polish, but I've been told that Polish people have a fiery side. They're in their history, they've gone through a lot, their revolution, all that stuff, and also definitely Chopin, he has that in him. So I don't think it's, we have to worry about. It's going to be too aggressive. He writes con forza sempre forte. I think it's pretty clear he wants da da dum, ya da 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 dum, and then we get same thing. Yeah. Good. Okay. I am afraid we have to stop, but great playing. And just keep at it. I think for this piece for you is at the point where you've played it before, you know it, and I think maybe some of the details are starting to slip past you, and you're kind of, so really go back to the score, kind of find joy in like finding cool harmonies that you never knew, or like cool notes being held, or inner voices that you never really paid attention to, and like use that to feel your motivation to practice more and get it to sound exactly right. Because at this point, you've done the practicing for the fast notes and stuff, but I think now you can focus really on, getting it to sound the way you want it to sound in your head. Like if you never heard anyone else play it before and you see the score, what do you look for? That's interesting. What if you were to, okay, I'm now going to go hear recording. What am I listening for if the person is really paying attention to, kind of thing. So in a way, you have to be your own teacher and force yourself to like find those things, and it'll go to the next level. So great, thanks so much. And before everyone leaves, we have a little thank you ending video for everyone. So. Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending and listening. Thank you, Justin, Daniel, and Euna for playing. They are here. Let me stop the share so you can see. Let's give them all. I'm the only one here, but a round of applause for you three again. Great. So thank you everyone. Thanks for playing, and have a good night.
Thank you so much, everyone.